Welcome back to NASCAR Heat 5, folks. We have reached it, the final race of the season. We are excited here in Season 3 of the Xfinity Series. Our hope, bring home a championship. What does that mean for us? That means we would only have one more season in the Xfinity Series if we're able to bring one home this year and next year. And I got to be honest, that is the goal. I'm looking forward to focusing on just one series. We talked about it in the last race, so I'm not going to talk about it anymore. We've got 4 final drivers in it, and if you didn't watch the last race, first of all, shame on you. Just kidding. First of all, please take a moment to go back and watch that video and, hit the like button because it's free, and it makes me real happy because, it makes YouTube happy. And as long as YouTube's happy, I'm happy. Here are your final 4. Myself, Max Koss, John Perez, Eliza Bethel. There's 4 of us here. Only one are going to come in with the championship. We'll have to see what happens, and it all starts right now. As usual, it's going to be a tough one, but we were able to get the goal time on this one, so that's good. We'll have to see how we do in qualifying. I ran a couple laps after we hit the goal time. We never got it again, so that's interesting. All right, here we go. Qualifying lap now underway. Hopefully I can not screw it up this time. We had a good amount of speed going into the turn number 1. Got on the gas a little late. We'll see how it turns out for us. Oh, come on. I thought we finally got it. I thought we finally hit our pole. Oh, no. Pole winner is Max Koss. That's not great for us. All right, Max Koss championship 4 driver in first. Lane Timbergen second. We're in third. AJ Hale fourth. David Schildhaus fifth. Jeremiah Graham sixth. Gary Norton 11th. Playoff driver John Perez 12th. Taylor Carpenter 13th. Matt Malone 15th. Casey Kane 19th. Timothy Mathis 22nd. Bernardo de Oliveira 23rd. Michael Chavez 26th. Bryce Egan 28th. Bradshaw Stout 29th. Playoff driver Eliza Bethel 31st. Not a great qualifying for them. Matthias Espinosa 34th. Parker Smith 35th. And an odd day for Sheldon Creed as he rolls through in 36th place. Here we go. 100 laps for the championship. Sheldon Creed, well, we just saw that. He looks a bit slow. He qualified last. Max Koss pole winner. Eliza Bethel, that explains why the car was crap. She goes to the back, and she had to replace her transmission. We line up behind the leader of the race and current leader, if he wins, of the championship. We've got a different gear ratio than them, and I'm hoping we're able to take advantage of it. Whoa. That was terrifying. We almost lost the whole race right there before we even got to turn 1. All right. Ooh, that was scary. "22 laps in stage number 1. I don't know why the car feels so loose all of a sudden.
You're all clear up top. Inside, all clear.
Well, this is what we do it for, folks. We won it here in the Truck Series. Ooh. Also, we won't be always running here for the championship race. I'll put out a vote. It'll be for when I set up for the subscriber, for the people who have a membership. I got to set that up yet. I kept forgetting. Anyway, I'll put out a vote for where you want the championship race to be, and we'll race there. But we are something else here, aren't we, right now? This is that momentum. I mean, it really makes a difference. Going into a championship race with momentum is incredible. Got almost a second lead on second place. Max Koss not even in the top 5 right now. try to dip it down here and get a better. I mean, we're not even putting down great laps, but remember, their qualifying laps are never as strong as their other laps. Wow. All right, this is amazing. I did not expect this. Last year we struggled, but again, we didn't have a fully upgraded car for this last year. If you recall, we didn't. Our car was like an 82 or something because we couldn't repair it. This year we came in with enough people on staff that we could repair the car, which meant that we could come in and have a fully upgraded car for this race, and we've got the momentum. So as we drive away from everybody, it's great. I mean, really, there's some races where you expect to do well and you end up doing poorly and it makes no sense. And then there's races like this where I was really, really worried. And as long as I hit my marks here, I feel really good about this whole race now. Now, a lot can happen between now and the end of the race. We will likely be... Well, I wanted to see if I could do that without brakes. I kind of did. 15 laps left in stage 1. I'm just trying to think. On the last stage, we may not be able to go all the way on tires. Yeah, I'm already thinking of the last stage, because even if we were to mess up and be at the back of the pack, we still have to consider strategy for the last stage. Well, that was a bad turn. I do need to get on the brakes a little bit going through turns 3 and 4. Ooh. I almost wiped out there again. So, again, tires are something that we have to pay attention to. Our right rear is already down to 68%. We're like 10 laps in. We've got 27 in the tank. We're not even burning up that right rear. That's going to be something I really have to pay attention to. And I'm very concerned about it, if I'm being completely honest. But I think we kind of recovered there a little bit. I think we just drove hard, because I want to say we only lost a full percent, maybe 1.5% on that last one. So maybe I'll be all right. Yeah, we're not burning up the tires at all anymore. So if I'm losing 2% per lap and I have 35 laps in the tank, I'd be fine. But this was more like a 3% lap, 2.5% lap. So I don't know. 3 laps, we might be all right. 11 left here, but I'm just thinking, I'm already thinking to stage 3 where we're going to run a full fuel run, I know. And I've got the cautions turned down, so they're not strict anymore. So it's quite possible, because I want green flag stops. I want that challenge. I want it to be, we have to get green flag stops and figure everything out. We're also starting to see some of the lap traffic, what will be lap traffic when we catch them. 10 left in stage number 1. We're 12 laps into it, so we're going to go ahead and speed things up and get back to you at the end of stage 1. We'll keep an eye on those tires to see where they end up at the end of the stage. Hey, yo, look at us taking home the victory. But the thing to note, two things. I hit the wall because I'm watching the Packers game right now, and I looked up as they did something great and ran right into the wall. Almost ruined my race. Secondly, how did Max Cost go from first to like 35th? Sorry, he's in 30th. He went from first to 30th, and even Eliza Bethel has passed him. But we lapped both of them, so our only contention right now is John Perez in 7th place. Everybody pit. Here we go. Lane Timber again out here.
Now, be smart out there.
He's
Going
the last car on the lead lap.
Got a car high now. All right.
So we shuffle through the gears real quick. Get the car back up to speed. Jeremiah Graham having a great race, showing what that team can do. Like I said, as long as they can keep that car clean, they are in a good spot next season to be pushing. I think next year in the Xfinity Series is going to be extraordinarily exciting. I think it'll be a lot of fun in the Cup Series for us to be racing with all the new cars, and it'll look cool, but we're all going to kind of suck. That's just how it goes when you start with the new series, and that's how I have everybody set up to do. We'll race each other, but we're not going to be really racing against the all-star racers until probably the end of the year was when you'll start to see those guys. It shouldn't be too terrible, but it's going to be definitely a challenging season in the first year. We're just going to be busting around each other and hopefully building some relationships in a good way and continuing to try to do the right thing over in the Cup Series. Now, I do have the championship race, and technically I'm in the championship in the next race, but as I said before, I will not be winning the championship, so I just don't, I'm just not going to do it. I don't know what else to say. I don't want to win a championship for another team. I thought a lot about it, and with the way everything went, I really should have spent the whole season just trying to mend relationships and putting together a solid, top 10 performance on the year. But instead, we're going to end up with a a top 4 finish for sure on the season, and that'll be good. But we've got our work cut out for us with the new team. I did actually DNF the last 2 races there, so we didn't really even make any money in that series. I ended up, the one I DNF'd, Texas, we ran almost all the laps, and I just got loose on the quad oval, and we went up in the wall, and that did it. On the last one, though, at Martinsville, locked up the brakes and just drove it straight into the wall on, lap 2, and I was like, well, that's fun. So I just let it go. I was like, whatever. I almost just lost it right there as we were talking. That dog leg is pretty treacherous at times. I'm going to have to keep it up a little higher. Bernardo de Oliveira, Taylor Carpenter have made their way up through the pack, and they are trying to show up. I need to start pushing it a little harder. I'm not going to lie. I was driving a little bit lax because I knew I had a nice lead on Graham, but then I just looked up in my rear view and saw a car I hadn't seen before, and it's Bernardo de Oliveira, so there it is. We'll just do whatever we can to put a little space between us and him again, because that's how this goes, I guess. You got a nice little burst of speed. Also, we don't have to worry about our tires here. We can push as hard as we want the whole time. They may get below 50%, but it shouldn't be a big deal. What I do have to worry about, though, is Bernardo having a great run and catching us.
Wow, that's fast.
And we had our fastest lap of the race. Not of qualifying. Our qualifying lap was a 26.4 something, so we can do better, but Bernardo de Oliveira only 1.2 seconds behind us. And this is kind of a showing of what could be next season. A lot of different names, a lot of different faces up in the top 5 right now as we end this season off. Pretty much will have every driver maxed out at the end of the season, unless they are some of the people who I might replace the 2 drivers that haven't responded to me in multiple upgrades. I might just put in non-subscriber drivers in their place because it's not worth it to me. It's cool if you don't want to be a part of it anymore. That's totally fine, but that also means that I'm going to be removing the driver because they're not improving at all and they just are always running around the back of the pack. What are we at? 11 of 19, so we're past the halfway point. We'll go ahead and speed things back up. Bernardo de Oliveira within a second of us. That's crazy. We'll see where that ends up by the end of stage number 2. Oh, we did win the stage, and we drove away from Oliveira a little bit. He ended up getting second place. He's about 2.5 seconds behind us. Carpenter, Kane, and Espinoza round out your top 5. Perez is on the lead lap in 6th place. Cost now 2 laps down in last place. Something happened to that car to put him in that position. This is going to be an interesting final stage for us because we got to manage our tires a lot better than we have. We've got 36 laps before we pit.
Be ready here.
So it's going to be really interesting.
Car high, careful. Clear all around there.
Got that dog leg just a little bit to get even as much of an advantage as I can there. See what I can do. If I can pull away from Oliveira at all as we head into the final set of turns. And no, he actually gained on us at the end of that. That's that turn 4. John Perez makes his way into the top 5. He is poised for a second place finish, but he is still wide open to winning the championship if we mess up. So this is not over by any stretch of the imagination. He currently sits in second place in the championship standings as Bethel is 2 laps down, and so is Max Cost, as Perez has now moved up into 4th place, battling it out with Matthias Espinoza. And Bernardo de Oliveira is just sitting there 5/10 behind us as we start to drive away from pretty much everyone else. He is just chilling out. He has got a mad fast car, and we have to just put down some heaters to make sure that we don't open up the door for him to pass us. Now again, as long as we stay in front of Perez, we win the championship, but I always think it's weird when someone else wins the final race of the season and you've got them trying to celebrate, and it's really overshadowed by the fact that somebody won the championship that wasn't you as the race winner. So we want the twofer. We want to win this race, and then we want to win the championship with it, so we get to celebrate both things and be poised for next season. the next race you will see will be the Daytona race with this team. No, yes, you will see this Xfinity, and then Friday's episode will be the Cup Series Daytona race. I mean, I know it's the 500, but it's only a 250 for us. And that's potentially going to be a crappy race. I don't know. With the money we have, I have no idea how much it costs. I know it costs a lot more in the Cup Series, so I don't know how much the cars cost and what kind of benefits we're going to be able to have, what we're going to be able to upgrade. Right now we have $12 million in the bank. And, I mean, I could give a super speedway car for Xfinity to max that whole process out completely. Not sure I want to do that. Not sure I care enough to do that, but is it cheesy if I don't do it and I take that money and sink it right into the Cup Series and we're actually pretty decent? I don't know. What I do know is we're not driving away from Espinoza. Well, we are, but barely. Got about a second on him right now. I'm not going to go as far in as I used to. I haven't been going as far in on the dog leg. I haven't been cutting it as much, I should say. But it's working right now. How are our tires? 75%, and we've only gone 7 laps. I mean, let's be honest, that's a little concerning. Because at this point, that means we can do 28 laps before we blow our tires. But if I back off at all, Bernardo de Oliveira will be right up on us, so I can't really do that. We haven't had a caution in the race yet, which is good because I don't want cautions. I don't care if we stack it back up. I just feel like cautions always taint the strategy of pitting under green flag on the final stage. 44 to go in this one. I mean, we could feasibly pit, you know, when our tires are getting low and just finish out the race. Because if I'm able to do another 21 laps, for instance, from where we were, well, let me see. What are we at? 27 and the 68%. I don't know. You know, it's weird because the tires aren't hot, so I don't really know what's really burning them off that much. That's wearing out that right rear that much. It's got to be when I'm accelerating out of these turns or something. But again, look, we're not driving away from Oliveira at all. He's kind of stuck himself in there at 1.1, 1.2 seconds. So I don't really know what to say about that either. I guess I'll do my best to preserve my tires for as long as possible, and then when I get the little red thing, or not really, because that's 20%, but once it turns, you know, into an issue, I'll pull off and pit and try to win a championship. That's going to be a challenge for us, though, because I don't think I've ever actually pit at Phoenix, especially under green flag. Obviously, we pit all the time under caution or stages, but with this cautions not being strict anymore, unless a car blows up and causes a big wreck, we're probably not going to see that caution, which means we're going to have to figure out how to pit here. I've never even practiced. I don't know what the pit road speed is. I'm going to drop it down really far, because that could screw us real bad. Oh, got really loose there. And we're going to drop down a little on the apron. We got Tommy Joe. He's not going to be driving next year.
Still there?
One of the Alpha Prime drivers will take the place of him.
All right, you're clear there.
He is... I figured out how to do that when I was doing the Cup Series stuff. So we'll make that adjustment as well in the Xfinity Series. Remember I said that I couldn't fix him because he didn't have a driver profile, and it turns out it's just in a different folder, which makes no sense, but it's fine. We were about to be in real big trouble. There was like 4 drivers that I couldn't modify, and they weren't good drivers. So it wasn't like they weren't drivers that were going to be in the league. So at one point I was just sitting there like, how do I even do this? And then I got an idea to check something
Stay low.
from a different modder, check his files, and sure enough,
All right, you're clear there.
it told me what I needed to know, and then I went in and found the files myself and made the adjustments to those specific ones. Basically, it let me know that it wasn't all in one folder like I was led to believe originally. Little contact with Bradshaw Stout.
Careful, still there. You got room, you're clear there. Stay on the bottom here. All clear.
Here's Max Cost again, looking to go 3 laps down. Just something's wrong with that car. He is really slow. We came flying up on him. It's crazy.
Stay on the bottom.
It's really
All right,
crazy,
you're clear there. Outside,
considering
outside.
where he was to where he is now. But, you know, drivers have bad races. John Perez, in the meantime, has made himself all the way up into 3rd place. Good for him. And Bernardo de Oliveira has gone ahead and got himself within under a second behind us. That's partially to do with lap traffic, though. We didn't get around Max Cost real clean. Eliza Bethel running that high line. She's leaving the door wide open, which is very polite.
Outside. You got room, you're
We'll
clear.
make the pass. And hopefully she'll stay low now and block Bernardo de Oliveira. My steering wheel got real loose out of 4 again. We're at 42% tires. This track eats tires maybe worse than Atlanta. Holy crap. We got 18 left in the tank. We've gone 18 laps. So that's a guarantee that we're not going to finish on this set of tires. We're going to have to pit before before the fuel is even out, because we don't have the tires.
Stay high up here. Clear all around.
But we were able to get around Josh Berry, and I don't even remember who was behind him. I wasn't really paying attention. We were able to get around them pretty cleanly, and hopefully that's going to affect Oliveira and kind of give us a little breathing room here. All right, we're going to go ahead and speed things up until we pit. And we'll be back on the mic, hopefully, with a solid green flag pit stop. Oh my goodness, there's a freaking caution. What? Never should have happened. Never should have happened. Well, we don't have to worry about pit strategy anymore.
Starter
That's
has
so
the green
stupid.
flag in his hand. Ready? Car outside. Top 3.
Oh, we've got 28 in the tank, 22 left in the race. John Perez sitting there in 3rd place. He was right behind us on the restart, but we, of course, have a better gear ratio. We were able to get through that with taking a bit of a speed boost. Bernardo de Oliveira not going away. John Perez not really going away after we finished 1 lap. Pretty sure I'm going to run every lap like I'm trying to qualify, knowing there's only 22 left in the race. See if I can do some crazy driving really help us. Yeah, 26.481 qualifying lap times. Practice lap time, I should say. Qualifying pole position, dang near. The 26.452. Whatever, something like that. See if we can beat that.
That was a great lap.
That was our best lap of the race, but that's not our qualifying best lap yet. See what we can do here. That's a good 1 and 2. If I stay off the wall, I feel like we might have scrapped the wall very, very, very mildly. We'll see what happens. Pushing it this hard has definitely put a gap between us and second place.
Your best lap ever.
Yeah, that would have been pole for qualifying. I guess if I had the time to practice more, I could probably go and get pole positions a fair amount, but I don't. I put down like a couple laps to get an idea of how fast we are right off the bat, and I just go and race it, and then we improve during the race normally. All I know is next season's going to be a lot more difficult because all of these other drivers that have maxed out their skills now. And, yeah, we're maxed out as well, but that makes us just about even. So we'll see how it all goes. We will see how it all goes. Yeah, we put a nice little separation between us and second place now that we pushed it. I didn't push it this lap, so he's caught us a little bit, but I definitely pushed it pretty hard. I'm sure it's showing. Again, I've had a lot more heat in the tires before, and it hasn't affected us, or yeah, it hasn't affected us as much as this one's affecting us. So I'm very curious as to why that is. Well, I'm going to go ahead and speed things up at the start-finish line here. And we'll be back with you with about 5 laps left to go in this championship race. We've got 5 laps left in this race. Looked like Matt Kenseth took his ride for a bit of a spin. Now I think I see a bunch of smoke. Yeah, a bunch of smoke on pit road with him. So we definitely messed that car up pretty bad. We got another car on pit road as well. Late race entry onto pit road. Not sure if there was contact between those two drivers or what occurred, but what I do know is it didn't bring out a caution, so I don't know what brought out the caution middle of this stage that allowed us to do what we did and not have to take a green flag pit stop, but I don't like it. I was looking forward to the strategy and seeing if we could win a fully green flag race. We got 3 to go here. We've slowed down quite a bit. Lap traffic definitely taking an effect on us for how fast we can drive right now. Can't just get on the gas behind Dale Jr. here and drive through him on exit. I've got to be a little more patient. And so cars that we're lapping are actually kind of sticking with us a little bit. Also getting very loose out of 4 as our tire wear is down to 36% with just 2 laps left. So we really just torched the tires with 22 laps. But we did what we had to do, and fairly unexciting finish to the championship right now. But honestly, I don't really care, because getting a victory is getting a victory. We busted our tails off all season long to be in this position. So to come out here, have the momentum, which we didn't have last year, have a car that's fully upgraded, which we didn't have last year, and being able to put down a dominant performance. Car slid around quite a bit. Tires got worn out quite a bit. But we were able to maintain and do both things. Come home with a victory and a championship, which is fantastic. 103 rating. Not too shabby. Listen to that crowd. We blew the engine. Final results of the race. We take first place. Bernardo de Oliveira dominating. Second place was nipping at our heels almost all race long once he got up there. John Perez third. Casey Kane fourth. Matthias Espinoza fifth. Taylor Carpenter another top 10 in sixth place. AJ Hale seventh. Timothy Mathis eighth. Jeremiah Graham 10th. Matt Malone 11th. Bryce Egan 12th. Lane Tibergen 13th. David Schildhouse 23rd. Michael Chavez 25th. Max Cost, pole winner, drops way off. Finishes 28th, right in front of our only other playoff driver, and Eliza Bethel, who finished 4 laps down as well, 29th place. Gary Norton 30th. Brad Justow 32nd. Parker Smith 33rd. And that will finish your last standings of the season. There are your final points. John Perez takes second. Max Cost third by just 1 point over Eliza Bethel, who finished fourth. There's our race winning. Oh no, there's the championship trophy. Okay. They just said, forget about the Walmart race winning trophy. You get the Target championship trophy here in the Xfinity Series. Fastest lap of the race went to us with a 26.396. Most laps led 98 of 100. Amazing. On the move, Matthias Espinoza, 33rd to 5th. Great race for that team. And tough break, we knew it was going to be that one. Max Cost first to 28th. Your NASCAR Xfinity Series champion is Tony Savoy. We knew that. Carpenter, thank you, sir. Cole Custer, thank you. David Schildhouse, thank you. Ray Galding, thank you. Austin Hill, friend now, thank you. Love to see that. John Perez, thank you. And that rounds out your pleasantries. Well, as you know, our next race will be the start of Season 4 in the Xfinity Series. The race after that will be the start of Season number 1, really, of us owning our own team in the Cup Series. That'll be a lot of fun to do, but we have to race the Cup Championship, which I won't be posting because I don't really care. Anyway, folks, though, that is going to do it for this episode. Leave a like for your champion. Please. Please. Anyway, I'd like to take a moment out, as I always like to do, to say thank you so very much for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. And until next time, and of course, as always, you take care.